And what a treat it is to be in Fort McMurray.
Nice.
Tremendous facility. Anthony Coombs is back. And we are underway, and it will be the second-year man out of Manitoba. Gonna have to eat that football, and now escapes and gonna turn it into a good return. Trying to get outside. And will be dragged down at the 22-yard line on the tackle by Dion Ballou, a newcomer at defensive halfback. So here comes Trevor Harris. It's Trevor Harris's team in the absence of Ricky Ray.
Against Ottawa, he went 26 of 36 for 281 at pretty good numbers. Chad Owens will be his #1 receiver. Led the Argos last year, did not play the entire season due to injury. They get Andre Dury back. They've only had Andre Dury and Chad Owens together for 3 games in 2014. They hope there's a lot more of them together in 15.
3 receivers playing their first Canadian Football League games, and the pass swung out, and here is Andre Dury to the corner. He'll step out near the Eskimo bench with a first down.
Good, aggressive Edmonton defense by Chris Jones, a defensive specialist. Odell Willis led Edmonton with 13 sacks off the edge. There's your Rookie of the Year in the Canadian Football League, Dexter McCoyle, and I am really looking forward to seeing Marcus Howard healthy and in the lineup.
Little reverse here, and they flip it back to Dury. Gets a block, and down the sidelines, and he is dropped just across midfield. So Andre Dury back-to-back first down pickups for the Argos.
That's what I'm talking about, of having Andre Dury and Chad Owens in the game together for the Argos. One goes this way, the other one comes back this way. Little cross action just to deceive the defense, get them off balance, little fake one way, pitch underneath, to Dury going the other. Boy, if they can get Chad Owens, Andre Dury, and then you throw in a little Anthony Coombs, some offense in those 3.
Dury with 986 yards receiving 2 years ago, injury plagued last year with collarbone issues. Trevor Harris to pass, pocket collapsing, he'll escape. There is a flag as Harris will lunge for what would be a first down. Likely it's coming back. Second career start for Harris, who finished last season with a win over Ottawa in the season finale that he said would be a big confidence boost for him to start this season.
Eagle block, hands to the face. Toronto, number 65. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
That's the left tackle, Bruce Campbell, first-year player, former NFLer, who the Argos are extremely high on. Big number 65 at 6'8", 315.
Had to juggle that O-line just before game time with Jeff Keeping a late scratch at center.
So Greg Van Roten, another newcomer. Here's the straight ahead. Look at this. Brandon Whitaker sidesteps through the secondary, and now chased down, stripped of the football, and Edmonton will get it inside the 5. Brandon Whitaker was headed for pay dirt, and I believe it was Ryan Hines who stripped the football away from him.
Well, here's a great example for young football players watching this game. You're playing amateur football. There's a nice play, huge hole up front. Whitaker hits it, and then he just gets a little complacent with the ball under his right arm at the end of the play. But look at the hustle from Ryan Hines. Keeps working, doesn't give up on the play, chases it down, and gets the strip from behind.
Huge play by the strong side linebacker, Hines. Former safety, Brandon Whitaker getting the call.
You never know
after
when
the
you
play
can get back
and
involved.
a change of possession. We have unnecessary roughness. Edmonton, number 4, half the distance to the goal. First down.
Call to Darius Bowman on the unnecessary roughness. He wouldn't have been on the field.
He got 34, but I don't see anything after the fact. Anyway,
59-yard run for Whitaker. So that is a story, but so is the fumble that gives Edmonton the football, and after the penalty, back at their 2-yard line for Mike Riley. And flags fly. Well, until the fumble, that Argo offense looked impressive against the number 1 ranked defense.
Edmonton, number 50, half the distance to the goal, remains first down.
Procedure against Danny Grew, the newcomer for the Eskimos, at right guard out of Laval, the number 7 pick. So Grew getting the start at right guard. And they are without Matt O'Donnell, who has gone to the NFL, and Simeon Rotier, the all-Canadian guard who is out with an injury. First down handoff, and Chad Simpson's in the end zone, and he will not get out. Euclid Cummings swamps him. Football comes loose.
That's a safety.
And a safety has been charged against the Eskimos.
Brandon Isaac involved.
Brandon Underwood also up there.
Underwood, yeah.
That ball came loose. Whistle must have gone because no discussion about that loose football.
The Argos don't get the touchdown from Whitaker, but they get the 2 and will get the ball back.
So the Argo defense bails out the Argo offense after the first turnover of the game.
Chris Jones was not happy, and I know it's hot down there, but he was so hot under the collar after the penalties pushed him right back to the 1-yard line.
Back-to-back penalties, the roughing call, the procedure call, and then
you can see how it trickles down. You get the roughing and the procedure call. Now you're on the 1, and you really want to try and run it out, slam it in there, try and get a little breathing room. If you're on the 6 or 7, Mike Crowley has a chance to drop back and pass without going into his own end zone. One thing leads to another. All of a sudden, the Argos getting the ball back in 2 points.
You see the weather conditions. It feels like an Argo home game with the temperature at 30 degrees. We're told in Toronto right now 15 and raining. So
it's nice up here. Beautiful here in northern Alberta.
About 4 hours north of Edmonton. So Shaw kicks it off, and Coombs fields this cleanly. And on the return, kicks it outside, and will step up close to the 40-yard line. Well, it's been an eventful start, and the Argos have a 2-0 lead on the safety as Chad Simpson is sworn. Got to keep well hydrated today. Wow, it's hot up here. And a hot start for the Argo offense. They go back to the ground. Brandon Whitaker and J.C. Sherritt this time steps up at the middle linebacker spot to bring down the man who has been in camp for just about a week. Did play for Scott Milanovic when he was the OC in Montreal.
Yeah, he knows Milanovic's system. Picked it up quickly. Little changes, not in protections necessarily, but in the run game, and he's picked that up pretty quickly. It won't be the complete whole playbook for Whitaker in this game, but good enough and the experienced choice.
A couple of yards, 2nd and 8, and Harris on a roll. Trevor Harris throws back and a completion. That pass caught by Torrey Gurley, who had a big preseason game. 1 week into camp, plays in a preseason game, had 7 catches, 188 yards. Here he's about a yard short of the first down. Gurley, Vidal Hazelton, and Kevin Elliott, all newcomers to the Canadian Football League, and the Argos have high expectations for all 3.
Yeah, and Scott Milanovic talked about all being pros. He thinks that Kevin Elliott is a guy that reminds him a little of Jamel Richardson. He's got a long way to go to get there, but he's that same style of player.
Athletic as a high schooler, a high jump of 6'11".
13 minute huddle. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Some confusion. Dave Stala ran on and off the field. Another late pickup. A little bit of veteran experience added to an Argo team that has 17 first-year players, more than any other team in the CFL this season.
Yeah, they're the most inexperienced team in the league, and that's going to cause them some problems early on. Scott Milanovic understands that. They're going to have to live through some rookie mistakes, and guys getting beat as they learn the pace of the game.
Gurley had enough for a first down, and now it's 1st and 20 after the 13-man in the huddle penalty, and a slant is caught. And there is Vidal Hazelton, another one of the newcomers. Former target in college of Zach Collaros, who said he tried to recruit him for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Yeah, he was kind of crossing his fingers that Hazelton would get released from Toronto and maybe get picked up by Hamilton and they could reunite. But you mentioned Scott Milanovic talked very highly of him.
Toronto number 2. 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
And there's a penalty on Chad Owens, the veteran.
Legal interference, so he was downfield too quickly in blocking mode. And Owens arguing the call, but now 1st and 30. Five receivers out. The draw play to Whitaker, not going anywhere. Almondo Sewell back in the lineup, the all CFL defensive tackle who missed the preseason. Number 29 on the CFL top 50 on TSN.
You know, he has just got better every single year. You go back to 2012, and you don't expect stats and numbers, sacks from the interior defensive lineman. That's a bonus if you get it. Back to 12, he had 6. 13, he has 8. Last year, a career-high 9.
No gains, so 2nd and 30. Van Roten, the center. Wayne Smith at right guard in the absence of Jeff Keeping today. And there's Kevin Elliott out in the flat, and he gets dragged down. Newcomer John Ojo on the corner. Chris Jones says he's a Pat Watkins clone on the other corner, and the Argos will have to kick it away.
But, you know, a good decision by Trevor Harris. Young quarterback just trying to get in rhythm here a little bit, and he get a couple of penalties, getting second in a whole bunch, and just, you know, sometimes not a bad thing to punt.
Swayze Waters, the special team player of 2014, getting ready to kick it to Sky Dawson. Another patented Waters boot, and he got a terrific bounce, a 66-yard punt. Argos will pin the Eskimos back at the 15. So the second offensive series for Mike Riley. Another long field ahead of him. Mike Riley to go to work when we come back to Fort McMurray.
Defense.
Eskimos started the last drive at the 2, out to the 17 on their second possession of the game. Play action fake and downfield, and knocked down by E.J. Jefferson. Argos very high on their 2 rookie corners, both with NFL experience. And A.J. Jefferson had a tremendous camp.
Take a look at the Edmonton Eskimos starters to watch. There's Mike Riley, 12-3 record last year as the starter, was injured late in the season. The leading receiver in the Canadian Football League is Darius Bowman, and he led by a ton. Chad Simpson starts at tailback for the injured John White. White lost for the season in training camp.
Last pass intended for Corey Watson. Riley again to throw. Wants Kenny Stafford, and it overshot at the Eskimo bench. Incomplete. Stafford had a terrific training camp with highlight reel catches just about every day in camp, and they have high expectations for the man who will replace Fred Stamps.
Showed some great speed down the sideline here. The Argos showing like they're going to get up and jam and then playing zone behind it. You can see A.J. Jefferson jam Stafford at the line of scrimmage, which is permitted within the rules, inside of 5 yards, and then let him go into the deep zone.
So Crenshaw to punt. There's Chad Owens back. The Eskimos without a first down so far. Owens at his 41. 52-yard punt by Shaw. And Owens crashes across the Argos 50-yard line. One of the most dangerous men in the Canadian Football League. And as Suits mentioned, along with Andre Dury, what a 1-2 punch for the Argo offense.
Break. Told Milanovic when you're throwing the football, it's all about a solid base, solid shoulders, and your hips have to be pointing where you want to throw, like you're firing a rifle. If you're throwing off balance, Milanovic told us, then you're throwing a bad football. It's not a criticism of Harris, but all throughout preseason, Milanovic's eyes were on his quarterback's feet, guys.
On target there, once again, it's Torrey Gurley with the catch.
Well, I loved his fundamentals on the throw. Exactly what Matthew's talking about is the fundamentals of the football. Let's take a look at Trevor Harris. Young quarterback in his 4th year. You see his hip, his off toe pointed to the target. Releases that ball nice and high and completes it on the slant to Gurley.
7 for Gurley, 2nd and 3. Anthony Coombs in the backfield, and he will be stopped short of the first down. Odell Willis shut that one down.
Actually, Chris Jones played Odell Willis on that defense inside. He played him inside at tackle, and that's why he was right in the hole. Odell's usually off that edge, and they just switched him and Eddie Steele up. He played inside, played off Wayne Smith, steps right in the hole and makes a good tackle to force the Argos to punt the ball.
All CFL at defensive end, number 14 on our top 50. Not sure if he's running for office in Fort McMurray, but he is the mayor of Commonwealth. Waters took a little off that. Maybe too much, and Gossett almost turned the corner. See if there's a flag. Yes, there is. As horse collar tackle will be the call, and they'll tack on 15. There's the leading receiver in 2014. He'll try and kickstart this Eskimo offense when we come back. Start at the 42 against a rebuilt Argo defense, and these are three of the senior CFL guys who will try and solidify this young crew.
Tristan Opalugo had 12 sacks last year as a rookie, and Ricky Foley joins the team again in Saskatchewan.
And how about how much the Argos like their safety, Jermaine Gabriel. Scott Milanovic called him the most underrated player in the league. Casey Crean in charge of the defense. We'll see if it's a more aggressive group. Yard line.
Knocked out of bounds by number 27, Corey Greenwood.
6 for Darius Bowman with 112 catches, most ever in a season for an Edmonton Eskimo receiver.
Just shy of 1,500 yards, 1,456. 376 yards ahead of Clarence Denmark, who was in second place in the league.
Number four in the top 50. 7 100-yard games and early movement as Tracy Robertson was drawn. Let's find out if it's offside or whether he was pulled by a moving lineman.
It's going against Toronto. Mike Riley looked right to the bench and asked for the big team to come out, which means it'd be short yardage.
See if it's enough for first down.
It wasn't
Toronto, 5-yard penalty, first down, Edmonton.
And that is the initial first down for the Argo, or for the Eskimos. 8.5 minutes in. Of course, Edmonton without John White out for the season. Chad Simpson is the tailback, and there's the veteran Nathan Kuhorn on the outside. 5-year vet now out of Calgary.
Played the short side of the field there, and they put a Darius Bowman to the wide side of the field with Kenny Stafford. A different look offensively. Little hit screen. There was some room in front of Kuhorn.
5 for Kuhorn. 2nd and 5. Into Argo territory. Bowman with a quick jump, and flags fly.
Kendall Lawrence came out of the backfield. He might have jumped offside here.
Lawrence
Offside.
just back.
Edmonton, number 32. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Kendall Lawrence missed a lot of prep time and training camp with an injury.
Let's hear you Argos fans playing
Behind
on defense with
Brandon
some
Banks,
noise.
leader in all-purpose yards this last year.
Over 400 yards rushing and receiving. 2nd and 10. Riley stood in, throws incomplete, almost intercepted by Jefferson, who looked like he had the pick. Defending against Bowman with a flag down. A holding call against the Eskimos will be declined.
Well, this is exciting. This SMS Equipment Stadium, the broadcast booth is right on top of it. You see A.J. Jefferson in the hip pocket of Darius Bowman. And Mike Riley locked into Bowman from the moment he received the football. And is discussing it, Bowman with that little pat, my bad, my bad. That was a read route, and Riley thought he was going to take that one deep.
So shot a kick, and Chad Owens back to receive. See how the new rules impact Owens. Going to let this one bounce into the end zone. And And the Eskimos will be on the board with a 50-yard Crenshaw single.
Trevor Harris, one start last year was against the Ottawa Redblacks late in the season, went 26 of 36, 281 yards, and threw a couple of touchdowns. Feel good in the game. And we'll have a completely different receiving core. That was John Giles. And Jason Barnes, the first two completions. He will have Chad Owens back. Those two guys no longer here.
Scott Milanovich told him this week, you should be very confident going into the game because every time we've called upon you, you've delivered in your first 3 years. Delivers that football complete. Kevin Elliott up to midfield. The big target, 6'3", 213, has a 20-yard pickup.
You know, I like what I'm seeing with Trevor Harris and his mechanics. I'd love to get Matt Dunnigan's opinion on this, too. You see how he steps up in the pocket nice, takes that step into the throw, and throws a curl to Elliott and a little bit of traffic.
15 of 20 in the preseason for 159 yards. Says it's my 4th year in college. That means I'm a senior, and seniors have to deliver. Quick hitter, he's got Owens. And another first down. Argos moving the football to the Edmonton 45, an 11-yard gain for Chad Owens.
That's recognition from Trevor Harris on that play. He recognized the defense, took a pre-snap read. Look how quickly he released that football just as Chad Owens is coming out of his break. That's just good recognition from the young quarterback getting his second start.
Number 7 is 7 for 7 out of the gate. His old running mate, Zach Caleros, completed his first 9 last night against Calgary. And a counter it to Whitaker, and Odell Willis will wrestle him down. Whitaker falls forward to the 42.
Best lineman for the Toronto Argonauts this year is Chris Van Zyl at right tackle. He's going to come around, and he picks up a nice block. Now, you're going to get Odell Willis that closes from behind, so it wasn't Van Zyl's guy, but he gets out there on the second level. If Whitaker can bounce that a little bit and outrun the angle of Willis, he's got a huge play. Big 54 chugging around that corner.
So 2nd and 8. They'll swing it out. Here's Dury. First man misses. And Andre Dury inside the 40 to the 39 will be short. And we'll see if Scott Milanovich sends out the strong leg of Swayze Waters for 3.
A little bit of a breeze behind the Argos.
I think that Scott Milanovich, for the most part, will be pleased with the start of this offense.
Oh, no question. You've got a quarterback second start in Trevor Harris against a very tough Edmonton defense. Yeah, I think he'd be very happy with this start.
Waters had a season-high 47 field goals last year, longest for 53. And his first attempt
Swayze Waters' 46-yard field goal
is wide. Thought that he might have tucked that in.
Yeah,
Took a look, and
the officials
are now going to talk about it.
Well, they'll review it, and the officials had a little discussion after. Did this hook in? It looked like it did hook in when we watched it live.
So wide there, but
up
as
over
it
the
comes
top
down, the back official on the end line looked like he was signaling it was good. Hard from that angle, it could be deceptive, and it is going to be a single. So a rare miss by a guy that kicked over 90% last year, and it's 3-1. Chad Simpson stacked up a couple of yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
Well, you know, one of the officials is, his responsibility is to be right underneath the bar. You see two of them, one here and one right here. So they look straight up that upright as that ball is crossing over. They have the best angle and perspective to be able to judge whether or not. And he immediately signaled that that was wide left or wide right for Swayze Waters.
2nd and 7. Riley shoots that over the head to Bowman, and the Eskimos are still sputtering a bit on offense here in the opening quarter.
They are. I mean, that's a couple of series in a row now that I think Mike Riley is really locked into Darius Bowman. Now, when you have the leading receiver from a year ago, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does draw the defense to him.
Riley 3 of 6, and it's the third 2 and out of the opening quarter for Edmonton. Shaw the boot, and here's Owens. Drop the football, and Edmonton's got it. Chad Owens puts it on the carpet, and the Eskimos jump on the football. And is that Dexter McCoyle? Dexter McCoyle,
yes,
who just has a nose for the football, comes up with an under. A fumble recovery for the man who had 6 interceptions and 3 defensive touchdowns in his rookie year.
Yeah, that just a bad bounce too. It goes out the bottom of the bucket there for Chad Owens, who takes a peek downfield, then hits his toe and bounces right to Dexter McCoyle. Well, you are right about McCoyle. I mean, around the football all the time.
Big opportunity for the Eskimos. Argo sent pressure deep into the end zone. Kenny Stafford, touchdown! In behind A.J. Jefferson, and the Eskimos have their first touchdown of 2015.
Zero blitz. Mike Riley reads it, has the time. The blitz is picked up long enough that Riley has the time to pump fake to Jefferson, or to Stafford on the outside, working against Jefferson, and scores, gets in behind the rookie corner.
Well acquired from Montreal in the trade for Fred Stamps. High expectations, a good camp, and his second career touchdown. First of what the Eskimos expect will be many in green and gold.
Hey, shout out Uncle Chris, Aunt Mel. Love y'all. Columbus, stand up, baby. Hey, Mike Riley in here. It's the arm right here, baby. Yeah. Gonna score.
And now the 32-yard convert attempt from Shaw. And Shaw's missed that. He was 3 for 6 last week in the preseason. Jermaine Gabriel going to run it out. And he is quickly flagged to the Grant Shaw penalty at the end of that. A return of a misconvert. We're 2 the other way. But Grant Shaw is struggling right now. Again, 3 for 6 field goal attempts last week after missing the first preseason game here, away because of the birth of his first child.
You can tell by his reaction too, walking down the sideline here, that it's getting in his head, and he's got to let it go. That play is over.
Well, he had a terrific year going last season until he was hurt on Labor Day. 23 of 27.
On the convert attempt, we have a legal block, hands to the face. 19, Toronto. By rule on a convert, that's declined. Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton, number 11. 15 yards will be applied on the kickoff.
So the Argos will get better field position off the kickoff.
Well, there was no question it was a late hit. Jermaine Gabriel was outside of that white stripe when the contact got there, and he kind of drove him right into the signage. Let's take a look at that touchdown one more time, and I want to mention zero blitz. Jermaine Gabriel, the safety, is coming out of the middle, which makes it man-to-man for these guys in zero coverage. Zero meaning no safety down the middle to help them, so they have just got to take the inside. Now double move on the outside from Stafford on the rookie A.J. Jefferson. Mike Riley has time. The blitz is picked up. Actually looked a little delayed from the safety spot, and touchdown Edmonton.
Dozen seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Argos have had the better of the play, but the Eskimos now have the lead. Anthony Coombs will field this around the 33. Steps across the 45-50 near midfield. And dragged down by newcomer Keith Reynolds. And the penalty against Shaw does give the Argos better field position.
Anthony Coombs is another guy you could mix into the Andre Dury, Chad Owens discussion. And once he starts to get more familiar and comfortable, remember, lots of talk about Coombs last year, and then he was lost to injury, and we didn't get to see a whole lot of him. But Scott Milenovich thinks that they can get all three. Trevor Harris early in the season can be like a point guard, get those guys the football in a lot of different ways. Could be a pretty dangerous offense.
Fake to Owens. And now downfield, Whitaker wide open. Brandon Whitaker, there is a flag. He will score.
Harris's pass to
stand.
I think it's coming back. I think Torrey Gurley.
Was there an Argo downfield blocking ahead of the throw?
It's going to be an illegal contact penalty. Torrey Gurley, unless there was, in the opinion of the official, a jam by the defensive back he ran into. Because it looked like a pick to me.
Illegal contact on a receiver. Edmonton, number 45. The penalty is declined.
It is a touchdown. It's a 57-yard touchdown. Brandon Whitaker and the Argos on the final play of the first quarter have reclaimed the lead.
That happened right in front of us, and it looked to me like Gurley coming across here initiates contact offensively, and then they're going to throw that wheel route to Brandon Whitaker down the sideline here. Here comes the contact over the middle, and who initiates that contact? It looked like, to me initially, that was offensive. Officials thought different. Touchdown Whitaker.
Waters drills the extra point from 32 yards out. And that might be a little more reflective of the run of play in the opening quarter as Trevor Harris connects with Brandon Whitaker. 57 yards in the lead. What a facility. $130 million. A terrific field house. And the folks up here must be awfully proud of everything around this facility. They've got great plans for Western Summer Games, and you could see that they have all of the infrastructure now to do that.
Next month, Aerosmith will play up here. It is really cool, though. I mean, this whole area is beautiful.
And you tell me that,
yeah, that canopy is designed to mimic the Northern Lights, and looks very cool with the video screen underneath it, the end. And now I don't think it gets dark here at this time of year, but
here's some of the Argos woke up early in the morning to see the Northern Lights. That didn't work out very well. They haven't been too sleepy here in the first half. Darius Bowman takes that pass and steps out after a first down. 11-yard pickup for the top receiver last year in the Canadian Football League.
Gain of 9 on the play. It's 2nd and 1, Edmonton.
Yeah, a lot of different ways. I mean, you've got to design. You have the #1 receiver in the league. You got to design your offense, and focal point is number 4.
Short yardage situation,
but they'll
dive for a first down.
There's a difference, Chris, though, between designing your O with the focal point on Bowman with 1470, 1,000-yard club. Only 3 receivers in the CFL last year over 1,000 yards. Part of the reason for the rule change, but it's different than when Mike Riley locks into Bowman on all the passing situations. That can draw the defense and get him in trouble. But to design the plays with him as the focal point, obviously a good move.
Led in 100-yard games, yards after the catch, 2nd down conversion catches. He did it all. Here's Chad Simpson, and Simpson with his best run so far. Eskimos like the addition of Simpson, hard runner with good speed. Only question is pass protection duties.
He gets a nice block here, Chris, from Corey Watson, newcomer to Edmonton. Tristan Opolugo is coming off the edge, and
another short yardage plunge by Riley for a first down. Mike Riley with 616 yards rushing last year and 8 touchdowns. How much will he run this year after the broken bone in his foot?
Well, he's got to find a balance. And, you know, you don't win the Grey Cup in week 1 or 2, but it's, you know, you got to know when the situation is such that you have to get that extra yard and win enough games to get yourself in the position you want heading into the playoffs. So there is a real balance. And this discussion goes on all the time because we get a lot of quarterbacks in the league like Mike Riley, Travis Luley, to name one other one.
Martez Wilson was shaken up on that last play, took a knee, and he's getting attention, so we will step out early second quarter. Eastern, 5 Pacific on TSN from Mosaic. As we wrap up the first week of CFL play, already it's been an interesting week. We'll dump off to Chad Simpson. There's Corey Greenwood, starting at the will linebacker spot after 4 years in the NFL.
Saw Darius Bowman in that break working in the huddle with not only Mike Riley but talking to Kenny Stafford and trying to work with him. They were working together on the short side of the field. Bowman inside, Stafford at the wideout spot. You see that Darius Bowman, not only the leading receiver, taking a leadership role.
2nd and 5. Riley from the pocket, guns it over the middle, incomplete. Closing was Jermaine Gabriel. Kendall Lawrence looking for a flag, none on the field.
No, that's all Gabriel, and that's an excellent break on a route that you have to be confident to break on at the safety spot, because if you've got a guy in the seam like that, there's got to be one behind you. There's Gabriel up in the corner. Now, he's dropping back, playing aggressively. He steps up on that crossing route. Now, there's got to be one behind him, but he had the confidence to take go right after the football.
Grant Shaw will try and pin the Argos. Owens back, and that one will go out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. So Shaw gets the job done. Riley's had trouble getting the offense going, and he's been under pressure. Big hit here by Tracy Robertson made Riley pay. And after the 44-yard punt by Shaw. Trevor Harris, 9 for 9, 145. And a handoff to Whitaker, who is dropped down in the backfield. Flag on the play, excuse me, Andre Dury.
Offside.
Corey
Edmonton,
Jones,
number 45.
but offside.
5-yard
There is
penalty remains, first down.
Ricky Ray on the sidelines on the 6-game injured list.
Ranks 5th all-time in passing, over 50,000 yards for Ricky Ray. Those were the numbers from last year. Leading passer in the CFL once again, and I believe 7th in our top 50 list.
Dury stays in the backfield, 5 receivers out. Dury releases, he's got it, and it's a first down as Andre Dury is across the 25-yard line.
This is maturity beyond his years as a starter for Trevor Harris, as we watch how he reads the defense and goes through his progressions. Watch where he's looking. Off in this direction. Now he's down the middle. Doesn't like it. Check down. Going off the outside to Andre Dury.
For Dury, up at the 26. Harris sidesteps the rush and throws. Does Owens dig it off the ground? We'll see. And Harris took a hit and has to get helped up.
Yeah, it's a late hit on Trevor Harris. There's a penalty flag down.
So we'll see a little of the toughness of Trevor Harris.
Roughing the passer. Edmonton, number 93. 15 yards from the end of the play. First down.
Don Oramacion, the defensive tackle, with the late hit. It is a catch and 15 yards tacked on.
Yeah, this was a little underthrown, and Chad Owens had to really work hard, come back and got both arms under that. Bounced off his arms, not off the turf.
Big play by Owens, and the ball now into Eskimo territory. Nice play action fake. Marcus Howard has dropped Trevor Harris for the sack. You mentioned you were excited to see him back. He's had 11 and 10 quarterback sack seasons, just one last year in an injury-plagued 2014.
Yeah, you know, 4 games for him last year, and when you go back to 12 and 2012, 2013, injury-plagued seasons again, he just has not been able to stay on the field. But when he first arrived in Edmonton, 11 sacks, exploded into the league.
Loss of 7, second 17. Harris underneath, and there is Coombs back near the original line of scrimmage and is out at the Argo bench around the 50-yard line.
Let's go back and see that late hit on Ramession. That's why the Argos are up at midfield. There's a late hit and to the head. No question the flag comes out there. And that was on the low catch by Chad Owens. But Trevor Harris got the Argos offense and got the ball out of the shadow of their goalpost. Mission accomplished.
Might be a supplementary ruling on that kind of a hit as they try to protect the quarterbacks. And a little backspin by Waters. How about that stuff all around the 1? There's a high hit that may draw a flag as well against Toronto.
Blown up by number 36, Brian Rawl.
Waters kept that football in play, but then the Argos get flagged. We'll sort it out when we come back. Riley beginning at the 7, down by 3. Just about 6 minutes into this second quarter. To Simpson, got something straight ahead and then gets cut down again by the former Calgary Colt at safety, Jermaine Gabriel.
I mentioned earlier that Adarius Bowman had a huge lead on the league last year receiving yards, but it wasn't the biggest gap in CFL history. Ricky Mitchell beat Darren Flutie by 614 yards.
Who's that guy third on the list? Stiegler?
Yeah, Milt that year beat Terry Vaughn.
Another big run and another tackle by Gabriel, and the ball comes loose. There is a flag. Back-to-back solid runs by Simpson. Twice meets up with the safety, and it looks like the Argos have the football. Let's check out the flag, but again, Jermaine Gabriel meets up with Chad Simpson, and the ball comes
number
out.
58. A penalty will be declined. First down, Toronto, on the change of possession.
Number 19, Daniel Smith with the recovery for Toronto. It's
penalty against the left tackle, Tony Washington.
It's Jermaine Gabriel with the hit.
So we're seeing in this first half what Scott Milanovich was all excited about. As good as any safety in the league is what Jim Barker has said. Most underrated player, says Scott Milanovich. Edmonton scored a touchdown on after an Argo fumble, and now Argos with the ball, and Brandon Whitaker straight ahead, short yardage.
How about this debut for Trevor Harris in 2015? This is his second start career, but first this year, and has not thrown an incompletion yet. And for Argo fans, I'll knock on wood because that's usually the cue. And got a chance to sit in meetings with that guy. That's going to help in a big way.
Ricky Ray has been perfect, over 20 passes to start games a couple of times in his career. And Harris steps up here, couldn't find anybody, and is down inside the 25. He'll be short of the first down by 2 or 3.
There's a little bit of pocket presence from Trevor Harris. Realized that the throw he wanted, the lane wasn't there to deliver it, and rather than try and throw around the rush, put it under his arm and took off.
Wow, they're going for it. It's 3rd and 3. And they are staying on the field. What do you think?
Conventional wisdom says take the points.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised.
Take the field goal.
It's almost 4. Looking downfield. Now he's going to have to eat it. And they'll come up short. So the gamble doesn't pay.
I think Aaron Grimes here, they covered down the play that they wanted to Vidal Hazelton. Right now, Trevor Harris is locking into that left side. He wanted a double move, a pump fake to Hazelton. Aaron Grimes drops out of there. He's got it covered, and because of that, Trevor Harris does not have the target he wants.
Saw J.C. Sherritt picked up the release man, Brandon Whitaker. It's a turnover on downs. So a couple of Argo fumbles and now a turnover, and they continue to lead by 3. Here's a punt from Riley. Wears it out. One Stafford and overshoots his target by a stride.
Let me go back and show you what I mean about a great play by Aaron Grimes to cover this down, and it's a zone defense. Again, we're seeing a lot more of that. There's Grimes there. Look at Hazelton right here. Now, they wanted the double move here where Hazelton goes out and then breaks down the sideline. I think they probably pre-scouted this, thought they had something, but look at that. Great coverage down there by the veteran Grimes. Trevor Harris does not have the target he thought would be wide open.
2nd and 10. Kuhorn in motion. And somebody moved early. Looked like right tackle D'Anthony Batiste drew a couple of Argos offside.
Offside. Toronto, number 91.
Well, they're going to call
5-yard
it
penalty
against
remains second
Toronto
down.
and Opala-Ugo.
Edmonton Eskimos, it's just interesting to me that with this young Argo defense, they haven't been able to take more advantage of it. They're going to need Kenny Stafford to become a veteran quickly here and work in tandem with Darius Bowman. They need another big weapon in the receiving corps.
So 2nd and 5 after the penalty. Riley looks one way, now flush the other. Opala-Ugo has got him, and it will be a flag as they've got his hand on the harness there. So what would have been a loss and a sack for Opala-Ugo.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Toronto, number 91, horse collar tackle. 15 yards from the original line of scrimmage. First down.
First of all, Mike Riley wanted to go to a Darius Bowman on the throw. That's why he looked to his left. Bowman fell on his cut. So right here, Bowman was going to run this slant, and he falls down. And that's why Riley has to take off and run. Down he goes. No target there. Now, Opala-Ugo, this is the 3rd penalty in this half for Toronto that they've got their hands up high. 2 on blocking penalties where the hands were in the face. And now Opala-Ugo with his arms up high, rather than tackle Riley out there, gets it up on the harness and draws a penalty.
Eskimo first down. Riley rolls left, throws on the run. Oh, that's vintage Darius Bowman.
Yeah, he went and got that one. He went up and got that
one. 14 yards. Bowman shows you a little vertical here.
First down, the yard is 53-yard line.
Tough throw, too, for Mike Riley rolling to his left. That's likely why it sailed a little high on him, but his receiver comes down with it.
In front of the newcomer on the corner, Kwasi Owusu-Ansah, former Dallas Cowboy.
You need to get him a nickname.
Riley going to take a shot here, and A.J. Jefferson has the interception, but likely going to be called for pass interference. Jefferson steps out the other way, but Kenny Stafford was bumped, and Stafford's going to help make the call.
Yeah, you know, this is a tough one on Jefferson because he's looking at the football, playing the football, and kind of runs up the back of Kenny Stafford.
Pass interference. Toronto, number 12. It's a 10-yard penalty and automatic first down.
Well, they're calling it on Brandon Underwood, not on A.J. Jefferson.
Yeah, no, it was on Jefferson. 24 Jefferson was in coverage on Kenny Stafford. And Underwood's, he's just chasing to get involved in the play or try to help out. But you could see how Jefferson's playing the ball and kind of runs up the back of Stafford here.
So it's a 10-yard penalty. Not down inside the 5. And Edmonton has a first down at the 43. Jordan Lynch is the quarterback, running quarterback, and he'll get taken down by Jermaine Gabriel again. Jordan Lynch, a Heisman Trophy candidate and one of the top running quarterbacks in NCAA history.
Playing tempo here too, going out with a little play package for Jordan Lynch. He runs that speed option. He's got the pitch option right there to Chad Simpson, decides to keep it. Good speed to the corner.
Over 4,400 yards rushing. Chad Simpson tries to get inside, and there's a strong play by Brandon Underwood in his return to the Argos defense, finished last year with Calgary. We saw the Eskimos do this last year with Pat White, who had to retire because of concussion issues. In fact, Jordan Lynch broke Pat White's rushing record with his abilities to scramble, and he's the number 3 man behind Riley and Matt Nichols.
Like most things in football, there's an upside and a downside to that.
2nd and 11. Out of the waggle, Bowman got a good jump. Downfield, Riley into the end zone. Incomplete. Looking for Kendall Lawrence.
Riley's pass intended for number 32, Kendall Lawrence. Broken up by number 28, Brandon Isaac.
3-minute warning here as Lawrence just unable to bring that in. Bombers Rough Riders later. Grant Shaw here to attempt a 39-yarder. Missed on the convert, and again 3 for 6 in the first preseason game, so he's trying to get his game going and nails that to draw the Eskimos even with 2:38 remaining as we check in with Matthew Shinetti.
Chris, to build on a point that Glenn was making during that Eskimos drive, one of the reasons Adarius Bauman says that he had such success last year because he finally understood what Fred Stantz was talking about when he said, Adarius, the 2 things you can always control is your route and your hands. It's the message now that Bauman has for Wallace Miles, Kenny Stafford, and Shamad Chambers. And the one thing that Stantz told Bauman before he left to go to Montreal, Adarius, I always knew you could do it. Guys?
Really seeing more of a leadership role already this season, aren't we?
Totally. I mean, that's great timing on that report because that's exactly what I've seen in this first half. He's been very talkative with the entire team. He's working with the younger receivers to this team in the huddle.
And off to Whitaker. Haven't been able to establish much consistent on the ground. Eddie Steele with the tackle coming off a personal best season.
And when you're a young player and you're trying to take that next step to become a great player, you need a veteran that is a star to give you that boost. The guy to come by and say, you know what, just believe in your hands, run your routes like Matthew said, and you'll be fine. Darius Bowman did that last year, became the leading receiver in the league, and now he's taking the leadership role.
Another passing situation. Argos looked offside, and the pass complete. That would be 13 straight. Andre Dury the catch, and he'll be short of the first down, so they'll likely decline the penalty. The Eskimos have an option, but not sure why they take the penalty.
Offside. Toronto number 13. That penalty is declined. It'll be 3rd down.
Will be 3rd down, and Kevin Elliott, you could see, was a few strides ahead of the snap of the football.
I haven't seen any glaring rookie mistakes from Scott Milanovich's group in this first half, except for those penalties with the hands up high, hands in the face, no yards for a brand new player. That's probably one thing that Scott Milanovich's going to have to address at halftime.
Last year when they went to Commonwealth, it all unraveled in the second quarter. They gave up 24 second quarter points. Won the rematch, and Crazy Waters off the side of his foot. And Waters is out. That was Dave Stala. So something up with Swayze Waters, and now we know why they didn't try the field goal on 3rd and 3 or 4 yards. So
now we know
something's happened with Swayze Waters, and Dave Stala, who has punted often in the past and sometimes with great success, just 15 yards, and I'm sure he was late to camp and probably hasn't kicked a whole lot. We'll try and get Matthew Cianetti to update us on the status of Waters. Well, that explains why Scott Milanovich did something very uncharacteristic earlier. Here's Riley downfield. Touchdown! Flag down. Is this going to stand? Holding coming back.
It's coming back.
Holding. Edmonton, number 64. The 10-yard penalty remains first down.
Andrew Jones, the right guard, called on the hold, negating a 57-yard touchdown strike.
I hate doing this to the big guys because we don't talk about them often, and then when we do give them the arrow, it's because of something like this. Working on Cleon Lang, he gets hook around the shoulder pad there. Darius Bowman in behind A.J. Jefferson, but it's coming back.
Jones, a couple of years with the Argos. 1st and 20. Riley with the completion, and Corey Watson. Big collision there with Corey Greenwood. Those two were former Concordia Stinger teammates, Watson and Greenwood. And isn't Corey Watson Chris Jones' kind of player?
Yeah, he is. He's just got to stay on the field. I mean, Corey Watson, every time at this time of year, we talk about the potential of Corey Watson. And early in the season, over the last few, he's been hurt. There's Swayze Waters heading to the room.
Well, he handles all the kicking duties, so that is a huge issue for the Argos.
Timeout.
Well, you'll likely see Dave Stala out here at halftime working on it.
Kicking leg injury, we're told. Had it a couple of years ago, and this is a real sore spot for the Toronto Argonauts. Leading punter and place kicker last year. Wonder if he's got Paul McCallum's number.
Yeah, well, when McCallum was released by the BC Lions, right away that won't be long. It'll be an injury or a kicker that is struggling, and McCallum will get the call.
Oh, 2nd and 17. Pressure. Got it away. Stafford the catch. Jefferson quick close. And it will be 3rd down. Argo defense, a lot of young guys. Scott Milanovich told us he thinks they're better in a lot of areas. Just how green would they be?
Good hands there from Opala Ugo. Riding the pressure on Mike Riley. Wanted to go deeper, obviously, in 2nd and that long, but he had to dump it down. Dump that pressure from behind him.
Got a kick. Owens back. Fights the sun a bit. And from his 5. Gets a block. And slides across the 15 to the 18-yard line. After a 55-yard Grantshaw punt. 13 for 13. Trevor Harris gets set to go back to work. Argos, although this is technically a home game, won't play in Toronto till August 8th 5 tough games on the road to start the season.
Now they can pull them off early from the 6th game. Ricky Ray.
Three-man front, and the Argos run against it with Whitaker. Dexter McCoyle takes him down at the 27.
You know, there was some eyebrows raised when Brandon Whitaker was let go in Montreal, and it wasn't long before Scott Milanovic, who knows him well, picked him up. I've been impressed with him in this first half.
You know, they love Henry Josie, who was expected to be the starting tailback, and the coach told us that as much as he likes Josie, he wanted Whitaker's experience against a Chris Jones defense. There's the first incompletion. Intended for Hazelton.
Dexter McCoyle right there.
You've been surprised that we haven't seen Chris Jones's defense really throw a lot of stuff at Trevor Harris?
Well, again, I think this may be what we're partly due to the rule changes. And really, if you're going to blitz now and play man-to-man coverage, you've got to get up and declare early and be inside that 5-yard zone, or we're seeing a lot more zone behind it.
Argo's going to run the clock out now as Harris takes a knee. Trevor Harris mentioned the other day to me that he wished he'd picked the brain of Chris Jones a little bit more when they were together. But was very wary of what a Chris Jones defense might throw at him here today. He's handled it well, though, hasn't he? And we're through 30 minutes of football. Dead even at 10 apiece. From Fort McMurray, we'll send it back to the studio. And here's Rod Smith, decided by a 50-yard field goal.
Yeah.
So the Argos without that in their arsenal. But this is a line drive. We watched Dave try to loosen up the leg during the halftime, and here's Sky Dawson on the return, reversing field. Shane Herbert's finally going to drag him down at the 35.
Yeah, Dave Stala right at the half came out, and the team was in the locker room taking care of everything you do at halftime. Stala's out there working on it, both place kicking and the punting. You mentioned he's done it a ton in his career, but he probably hasn't done it for a while. Just signing with the Argos, a couple of line drive kickoffs. It will change the decision-making process for Scott Milanovic, that's for sure.
And it already did, as we found out in the second quarter. Let's see if Mike Riley can get things going in the second half. You heard his concern, and Greg Jones nearly had a pick on the first delivery by Riley in the second half. Jones moving into middle linebacker this year out of Michigan State after playing on the outside, replacing Shea Emery, who was traded in the Ricky Foley deal.
Just a nice, easy, slow, patient drop right underneath the slant route to Darius Bowman. 53, just slide over there and right in his mitts.
So 2nd and 10, here comes pressure. Get it away to Stafford, who cuts it back. Ricky Foley's out there with the tackle. Let's see if Stafford got to the first down stick. Very close.
Real good cut by Kenny Stafford inside. Looked like he was hemmed in short of the first down.
Going to get a measurement here. If short, likely Chris Jones would lead the offense on the field.
A nice individual effort there by Stafford. I mentioned they've got to find a couple of other weapons. Maybe it's Corey Watson. Maybe it's Kenny Stafford. Just short.
And it's interesting, Ed Herbie, the GM and a former receiver, said he liked what Stafford's done. One of the things he's got to do better is get to the first down stick, and did a pretty good job that time to cut back. And
no, that was close. Yeah, that was a very good individual effort. He looked like he was caught about 4 or 5 yards short.
So 3rd and inches for the Eskimos. And plunge easily for the first down and a fresh set of downs.
First down.
Mike Riley didn't play in the first preseason game here, and then was just 1 for 2 for 5 yards in a brief appearance on the campus of UBC against the Lions in the second preseason game. So I wonder if maybe he needed a few more reps.
But he's 100% healthy.
1st and 10, short drop, pressure on. Cleon Lang, the Edmonton native, with the sack as he tosses down Mike Riley.
And Cleon Lang shows discipline. Wouldn't be surprised at all to think or hear that Scott Milenovich talked about getting your arms down when you're tackling defensively. Get your arms down, wrap up the quarterback or the running back receiver. No shots to the head, arms up high in the face. They had 3 penalties in the first half. That's a good, clean tackle by Cleon Lang for the sack.
Beats Alec Krosnick, who has moved into the left guard position. And again, both guard spots vacated. Riley with flags down, takes off and runs to the 50. Ricky Foley jumped the gun.
I believe it was the official yelling play, because it looked like the Argo D line sort of stopped, thinking that this would be blown dead.
Riley took it to the 50-yard line. But they'll take the penalty, and it will be 2nd down over.
Offside. Toronto, number 95, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down repeated.
I think the officials helped out the Argo D line here. Just looking at these two right here to the right of your screen is Ricky Foley. I believe he jumps. So he jumps and then they stop, saying, okay, play over. And he said, no, you got to play.
So 2nd and 13 after the penalty over the middle. Bowman's got it. Underwood the tackle, but not before. Darius Bowman has another 1st down catch, his 4th grab of the game.
Yeah, Brian Roll here's in at linebacker, and this is a young guy that's going to get influenced by the look, and Bowman is going to come right in behind, and watch how Riley throws him open to the hole. Roll's dropping, he takes that first guy out, and there's on the crossing route, the dig route, Darius Bowman on Underwood.
17 for Bowman, 4th catch, 45 yards in the game, 1st down at the Argo 49. Riley pumps and looks deep in behind coverage. Incomplete as Bowman couldn't break that in. Just a step in behind Devin Smith, the newcomer at defensive half.
This is what Riley talked about at halftime. He talked about the opportunities that they've missed. And whether it be a missed pass or a drop pass or a penalty, that has taken some big play opportunities off the board. Now, give credit to Devin Smith. He catches up and he gets involved when the ball arrives. His timing is excellent, but he was beat by about 3 yards and had to make up that ground.
Scott Milenovich mentioned his makeup speed. I guess that's good to have, but you don't want to use it too often.
You don't rely on it.
And again, flags fly before the snap of the football.
Good Tony Washington, like he came out of that stance a little early.
Washington in a battle with selfish keepers.
Edmonton, number 58, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
For the left tackle spot. But that offensive line might be an area of concern with the...
Yeah, I think there's some, first of all, good weapons, and then potentially good weapons when you talk about the skilled players, but there is a question mark up front. These guys got to come together quickly.
Eskimos drafted a couple of highly touted O-linemen, David Beard and Danny Crew, and Riley scrambling again, takes off, takes a hit, drops the ball, and the Argos are on it. Mike Riley puts it on the turf, and Brandon Isaac, who has returned to the Argo defense, comes up with a recovery. So we remain tied here, early 3rd quarter. Do some punting. Trevor Harris will try and keep Dave Stallop and Swayze Waters on the sidelines as much as possible in this 2nd half. Here's the pitch to Whitaker. He cuts back on Odell Willis. And a nifty run by Whitaker, close to a 1st down up at the 52.
So you're in your second start as a pro. You're running the tempo offense now. You don't have a kicker, or your kicker is injured, and you're going to a backup who signed just a few days ago. Just add a little pressure in number 7's shoulders.
And on the sneak in behind Tyler Holmes, should have a first down. You have 3 new receivers as well for Trevor Harris.
Meanwhile, he's gone 13 of 14, 189 and a touchdown. Oh, and by the way, Jeff Keeping, his starting center, is not in the lineup.
Came up short on that sneak, and they're going to have to do it again. And that'll bring Mitchell Gale in. They tried checked Adrian McPherson will come into the game.
Another late signing.
Good to see him back. 6th year in the league. The guy who used to do this a lot for Anthony Calvillo. Ran for over 1,000 yards, 20 touchdowns as a member of the Alouettes. And should move the chains with that sneak.
Yeah, he should. But we saw last night in Calgary that it's not a guarantee. And the guy in Drew Tate for the Stampeders that was the best in the business at it last year. So it might only be a yard, but it's not a guarantee.
Veteran guy who is familiar with the Milanovic system. So Harris back in. Play fake to Whitaker, and he'll load it up and go deep. And it's caught! Brought down by Kevin Elliott inside the 5.
Scott Milanovic said he reminds me a little bit of Jamel Richardson.
A little limp on Harris there at the end of the play.
Well, it starts with Trevor Harris with a great play-action fake. He goes with a play-action fake there to Whitaker. That slows the pass rush. They get a double team on Marcus Howard to Trevor Harris's right. That cuts off the only guy that was giving him some issues, and what a catch at the other end by Kevin Elliott.
53 yards. Harris to Elliott. And it's 1st and goal inside the 5. Harris swings it out. Flags fly, and the play doesn't get off.
Trevor Harris took a hit that his teammates are taking exception to, and the big guys are trying to find somebody to go and discuss this with. Yeah.
In the middle of it, Odell Willis playing peacemaker.
Trevor Harris just indicated to Scott Milanovic that he's fine. He was on one knee for a second there, but he waved to him saying, "Don't worry, I'm good. I just catching my breath here." But those big guys will rally in a heartbeat if they think that their quarterback has been hit when he shouldn't have been.
Hard to gauge when the whistle blew here, but play had stopped, and Harris takes one on the chin. And then a hockey game almost broke out.
And your Toronto Argonauts are in the red zone.
Not sure why the play was stopped, and Scott Milanovic just called Kim Murphy over to find out why. Was play not blown in?
And as a former quarterback, that hit on Trevor Harris those are the type of hits on a quarterback that Scott Milanovic just cannot tolerate.
And this might be a challenge on whether or not this is a touchdown. Was he touched at all?
Toronto wanted to challenge the play of down by contact. But
that's
the official
exactly what they're going to try to
that's why they stopped play.
So the challenge flag comes out late from. Let's take another look at Kevin Elliott, because it looked like when he hit the ground, was he touched and down by contact, or was he touched after he rolled and got back up again?
And did he reach the end zone? He might not have been touched here, but
now he's
touched.
Now he's touched, but he's not down.
Is he in or not?
They're still sorting it out. You know, he wasn't down by contact when he dove for the football. He rolled, got up, got a couple extra yards.
But did they give them the extra yard here or not? Ball should be on the 1, shouldn't it? They have it at the 3. So here we go. Harris with time, end zone touchdown. But now Hazelton has his first Canadian Football League touchdown.
This is a young quarterback in his second start in the Canadian Football League, playing against the #1 pass defense in the league a year ago. Well over 200, a couple of touchdown passes, and they're going to go for 2.
So after the Riley fumble, the Argos cash in and probably wouldn't go for 2 under
on
the scoreboard, but under the circumstances, a nice option to be able to go for 2 from the 3-yard line. Saw Calgary last night score a 2-point convert. Now the Argos set up. Just scored from the 3. Now they'll try and do it again. Big to Whitaker. Dury can't hold on. There is a flag. And we'll find out if the Argos will get a second chance.
It's in that illegal contact area. A little tricky catch for Andre Dury, but he's made that a bunch. Again, the little things that I'm impressed with Trevor Harris is
Illegal contact on a receiver. Edmonton, number 9. Go half the distance to the goal, retry the convert.
So half the distance brings out the short yardage team, and that includes Adrian McPherson. As the Argos get a do-over. And there seems to be some confusion as they look back to Milanovic at the bench. And during the normal course of the game, they would spot the ball on a yard line, but half the distance from the 3 is a yard and a half out. And McPherson drops back in shotgun. And he'll take off. Head of steam, not going to get there. And he'll get pulled back. Armando Sewell part of it, but we got another flag.
Another flag, and it looks like it may go against the Edmonton Eskimos again.
Offside, Edmonton, number 45. Half the distance to the goal. We'll retry the convert.
So do you go to the 3/4 yard line?
I was told there's no math. You see, watch Dexter McCoyle jump in there. That's the offside. Clearly in the neutral zone, the snap of the football. Knew it immediately. Third try for the 2-point convert.
McPherson stays in. Former Seahawk Greg Van Roten is the center. Sewell almost jumped. A little mix-up here, it looks like. And the pass is knocked down. McCoyle with the defensive play intended for the fullback, Alex Dupuis. So the Argos get 6, but don't get the extra 2. And it's a 16-10 Polkman lead here in Fort McMurray. Sky Dawson back, and Stella kicking off once again. Short kick to the 29. Dawson with speed. And Greg Jones brings him down. Eskimo football down by 6. 6:12 left. Third quarter.
Second touchdown throw for Trevor Harris.
Comes after the fumble by Mike Riley. First points by the Argos today off turnovers. All the Eskimo points have come off Argo turnovers, and there's Bowman quickly taken down after his 5th catch.
Tackle by number 28, Brandon Isaac.
There's Bowman over there talking to teammates about the routes, and looked like Kendall Lawrence may have got an earful about being in the wrong place.
Just haven't looked sharp, and a little bit surprising in that this is the second year of the same offense for the Eskimos. And early movement once again off the left side of that Eskimo offensive line. Looked like Alex Krosnick came out of his stance early.
Edmonton, number 52. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
And Trevor Harris, after that touchdown throw, is working on his calf a little bit. He's going to be fine, according to Matthew, and seeing some frustration from the Eskimos now, sort of rearing its ugly head a little bit as after whistles and talking to the opponent a little bit. It's real hot down on field level. Early in the season, game one, trying to get in that game shape, game speed, and these guys got to watch, make sure they're hydrated and they don't cramp up, get too frustrated and start getting into fights.
2nd and 11. Riley in trouble, and he fights off momentarily before hitting the deck. Tracy Robertson, who was nicked a little bit coming into this game, but we were told would dent the pocket, and he did there.
I think Euclid Cummings was in there as well, number 94. He made initial contact, and you're right. Then it was rally to Mike Riley, and this is one of the things, you know, we talked about Mike Riley and the hits that he took last year, the times he ran last year. Watch the hit and how he fights to get out of this. Sometimes you got to understand the play's over, and right now, with Cummings got him wrapped up, that play was over.
Owens flicks the sun, 25. And a good return, a little stutter step out of bounds around the 40. 53-yard punt by Shaw. Good return by Owens. Argo football, and they have the lead.
Room beside him every day, but give the kid credit. I mean, he has looked great.
First down, 41-yard line, 6 receivers out. Quick hitter in behind Owens and incomplete. Last year in his start against Ottawa in the final regular season game, 26 completions, the most by a first-time starter last year in the Canadian Football League.
Well, the other thing that Scott Milenovich can do with Trevor Harris is move the launch point a little bit. We've seen that play action where he gets off the tackle and can move his feet a little bit, get outside. We haven't seen a whole lot of him running yet.
2nd and 10. Now has to bounce out of the pocket, and he'll get taken down. A flag flies as Trevor Harris is dropped.
Flag will be holding against the Argos. Will be declined.
Holding Toronto, number 1. That penalty is declined.
Put Dave Stahl out there to punt.
2nd sack of the game for the Eskimos, who had 55 to rank 2nd in the league last year. So a 2 and out for Toronto. Their 2nd of the game. So here's Stalla. Bouncing off the back of an Eskimo. That's going to be a no yards call. But look out! Sky Dawson's got the edge and then gets cut down. Good tackle by the kicker, 88, Dave Stalla, on 88, Sky Dawson. With the flag on the play, and some bad news coming from the Eskimo bench as they're putting a knee brace on Mike Riley.
Yeah, it goes back. We get a chance to finish that thought, but goes back to that hit where he was tackled, caught for a sack, and kept fighting. And it's sometimes, you know, it's tough to take that fight out of the dog in Mike Riley, but
did see Matt Nichols warming up on the sidelines during the last series by the Argos as the officials sort out the penalty.
No yards, Toronto. Illegal block, number 48, Edmonton. First down, Edmonton.
Blaine Smith, the call against Edmonton.
I mean, that one they go down and they're not putting the knee brace on.
Officials still conferring over the last penalties and where the ball should be spotted. It's on the Edmonton 50 here, late in the third quarter. As the focus on Mike Riley will certainly sharpen. Chad Simpson stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Leon Lang, Tracy Robertson.
This is moments ago when Riley came from that sack. And he kept fighting and tried to get loose, ended up getting pulled down. He hurt his knee. They were wrapping it on the bench, and he's out there with temporary knee brace on that left knee.
A couple of the quarterbacks suggested the new rules might have less contact on quarterbacks this year. Mike Riley and the guys in Montreal might argue that. Riley in trouble again. He'll dump it off, and Kendall Lawrence may run a while. Lawrence got a first down, and he'll get bumped out in Argo territory. First catch of the day for Kendall Lawrence, and it's a big one. 18 yards.
Let's take a look at Mike Riley and how much his mobility may be restricted. He moved around in the pocket here a little bit to buy himself some time. Nothing to the play side. He didn't like it. Slides out. Looks like he's running a little gingerly. But he does find Kendall Lawrence, who had outflanked the defense.
First down at the Toronto 43. Simpson and Brandon Isaac drew in there to make first contact. Greg Jones has him wrapped.
That's a veteran defensive linebacker that read that play, shot the gap, came around the corner, and made first contact before Simpson got to the line of scrimmage.
Jones had a 12 and an 11 tackle game last year, and now moves into the middle, his natural position.
Objectional conduct.
Fourth tackle
Edmonton,
for Brandon
67.
Isaac.
After the play, 10-yard penalty, remains second down.
So, an objectionable conduct penalty against D'Anthony Batiste after the play was over, the right tackle. Somewhere at the bottom of that pile against Cleon Lang.
Mike Riley said it at halftime. Penalty here, drop pass there, bad throw here, ending their own drive. See if he can convert on second and real long.
Second and 18. Here comes the heat. They scream it. And Lawrence spins off first contact and now dropped as Ricky Foley comes across to make the tackle.
Good play there by Corey Greenwood to get to first contact. He doesn't make the tackle on this screen, but he gets it turned back into his teammate.
Third down and what would be a long field goal attempt. They're going to try from 50 yards or not. Grant Shaw comes out. Looks like they'll punt.
They have at times put a quarterback in at the up back, and they have Jordan Lynch in there right now. Could they have something on here? Nope.
Shaw's boot will reach the end zone, and Owens is going to give it up as
Owens concedes the single point.
So it's 16-11 for the Argos. Our sack tally brought to you by Purolator, tackling hunger, a promise we could all help deliver. There were the Eskimos second in the league in that department last year, and the Argos hoping to be better in 2015.
People in your own backyard that need the help, and that's a lot of food.
And the folks in Winnipeg on July the 10th will get a chance to give the Purolator Hunger Drive a big boost early in July. Trevor Harris back to work at the 35-yard line, swings it to Owens, got some blocking, and Owens dives up to the 45, close to a first down.
That seems like a routine throw, but it was tougher than it looks. That's Trevor Harris with the guy in his face. I thought it was Ryan Hines that came on the blitz, number 34. It is. He comes up into his face, and he's got to throw it right in front of Chad Owens so he can put it away quickly and make those moves in the open field. Without accuracy there, Edmonton rallies to that tackle.
Big team comes on a second and short situation with Adrian McPherson. And he will plunge ahead and get beyond the 45 for a first down.
Well, Scott Milanovic just signed a contract extension, and deservedly so. Congratulations to him and Jim Barker. But Scott Milanovic has done such a nice job with his football team under very difficult circumstances over the last few years. Great news that next year they'll be moving into BMO. But like Chris Schultz said before the game, that's next year. And he's coached this young team up to be competing against a 12-win football team last year with the #1 defense against the pass.
Swing it out again to Owens, gets to the edge, cuts it back. Up to the 51-yard line, has 5. Well, they don't have a home game till August the 8th against Saskatchewan. So this stretch without Ricky Ray critical, trying to get off to a good start here in Fort McMurray. And we head to the fourth quarter. It's the Boatmen up by 5.
Stars we keep talking about, Trevor Harris has that exact same opportunity in front of him. Not just this game, but for the next 6-7 weeks.
What Zach underscored was the work ethic of Harris. He's going to take a shot here to Owens. And Chad Owens is inside the 20. He hits the seam, and Owens has the Argos in scoring position.
That ball was money. Chad Owens is going to just hit the seam here, and the throw is in stride. Those fundamentals that Scott Milanovic has been working on, the footwork, the hip, getting it in the right position, the release of the football, it's working.
5 catches, 77 yards for Owens, who was 4th in the league in receiving last year. Short drop, Harris going to take a shot, looking for Gurley! Touchdown! Looked like he might have pushed off against Patrick Watkins, but no flag.
Patrick Watkins trying to make an argument. Doesn't look like he's going to win.
And you can't challenge offensive pass interference.
No, you cannot. Harris just puts it up outside. Little subtle push in the back from Gurley. No flag, no foul.
So we've seen all 3 of the Argos rookie receivers look impressive. A highlight reel catch by Elliott. Touchdown grabs from Hazelton and now Gurley. And a challenge flag here from Chris Jones, who is challenging something we believe he's not allowed to challenge. But he's going to air his grievances.
Defensive pass interference can be challenged.
Now all touchdown plays or scoring plays are reviewed. And could they actually make a call here? Hard to see how much of a push that was.
Edmonton wanted to challenge an aspect that's not challengeable. They will be charged with a delay of game penalty.
I know it's not reviewable, so
Chris Jones might have known that and just wanted to let them know he didn't like the non-call.
Yeah, but this is a close game, and he knows that you can't challenge offensive pass interference. And if you do, you get the delay of game penalty. If you challenge something not challengeable, you'll get delay of game penalty.
So a 17-yard touchdown pass, and now the Argos will go for 2 again.
Young receivers are having fun in that huddle.
Yes, they are. Well, the scouting report was lots of talent, but a lot of inexperience. which would show itself the most here in the opening game? Well, the talent has so far. So now going for two. Harris deep in the end zone. Owens got it. And they do get two. And they lead 24-11.
7 looks great. Looks great.
Boy, number 7 on a roll. The touchdown grab by Gurley. And then back to Owens for 2 more.
He was going to take a penalty, but I'm with him in why he wanted to do it and why he was getting the attention of the officials, because that was a missed call. That was a push in the back. Change Patrick Watson's run.
Here's Dawson trying to get outside as flags fly. And he gets brought down at the 25-yard line. Vince Agnew with the special teams tackle and a couple of red flags on the field.
It has nothing to do, Chris, with the new rule changes, because that's to do with illegal contact. That was a pass interference call. And hey, Gurley is going to do that. He's going to try and be as subtle as he can and get a little separation.
Holding. Edmonton, number 8, 10-yard penalty, first down.
Defensive backs will always try and give that little pull to get the receiver a little closer to him. I'm with Chris Jones on this. I think that was a missed call, that there was an extension and Patrick Watkins was pushed out of his lane, and that impedes his chance for the football. That's a penalty.
And there are supporters of the push to get offensive pass interference reviewable as well, but that is currently not the case. Short game by Chad Simpson. One more look at the 2-point convert, and well, is Trevor Harris on target.
Yeah, and that's a nice touch pass. He had to throw that up and over the top and drop it into the hands of Chad Owens. He's shown a little bit of everything, Trevor Harris. Going on the run, good decisions, reading defenses, going through his progressions. Nice accuracy, completion percentage off the hook.
Eskimos won 7 of their first 8 last year en route to the 12-6 record. That pass over the head of Simpson is incomplete, and punt team has to come on again. Eskimos are scuffling here, and that's the 6th 2-and-out of the game.
I'm not giving Edmonton's offense any alibis at this point, but when they lost John White in training camp, they lost a focal point of their offense, and they went from a focal point in the running back position to trying to find one. And they signed Chad Simpson, who's not played bad this afternoon, don't get me wrong, but John White's a guy who can break a game open by himself.
Shaw, tumbling punt, bouncing around midfield. And Owens will get the no yards and then bounce it outside into Argo territory, or Eskimo territory to the 42. And they'll tag on the 5 yards as Trevor Harris gets set to go back to work and maybe put this one away. 12 to go, 4th quarter in Fort McMurray, Alberta. I didn't say that.
No.
There's the 37 after that no yards call. Whitaker does have the football and gets dropped behind the line of scrimmage.
His completion percentage off the hook at 90.9%. He's tied for 3rd, the best in history in one game. Ricky Ray holds 1 and 2. And now we still got some football to be played here. But wow, what a performance from Trevor Harris.
In field goal range if Swayze Waters was available, but he's not. Flags down and the pass incomplete, intended for Kevin Elliott, who claims that he made the grab.
He tried,
but not a very convincing claim.
Well, you can't put your hands up and be discussing it with the refs with a big, huge smile on your face. What a catch he made. A deep ball in the 3rd quarter.
Penalty against the Argos, it would appear. And the Eskimos will decline.
Big
Offside.
target.
Toronto. That penalty is declined. Third down.
Until the kick team comes on, and Dave Stala in to punt. And again, this would be 44 yards for Waters if available, and would get it to a 16-point lead if made. So a little bit of a sacrifice here that the Argos don't have that option, and Stala will just try and pin Edmonton and give them a long field.
Evan Elliott is out there trying to figure out what he's supposed to be doing on the punt cover team. He wasn't, clearly he's not in that position.
Well, they've got the right number of players on the field, or do they? No, they have 13,
Elliott.
so.
Elliott's going off now. You see him up at the top here. He was.
The Eskimos were a man short. Dion Ballou just comes onto the field, so looking a little preseason-ish on this third down. Not sure if we're having a clock issue because play still has not been whistled in. Little confusion here with the timekeeper's bench and Kim Murphy. First couple of games seem to be well paced, but this one
has just come grinding to a halt.
Just got stuck in the mud.
And there's no rain in sight.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Stala looks for the corner. And it's a good one. Well, it'll take the bounce and reach the end zone. And they'll give up a single point. So now it's a 14-point Argo lead. Let's check back in with Matthew Shinetti.
Chris, Western Canada is in a bit of a heat wave right now, and I was talking to the Eskimos equipment guy, Dwayne Mandruziak, and he said they have prepared for this. There's ice, towels, lots of hydration going on the Eskimo sidelines. And on the other sideline with the Argos, Trevor Harris was stretching out that calf muscle you guys were talking about earlier. He looked at me and he said, I'm cramping up. It's hot down here, but I'm fine, guys.
Yeah, up for the players. They got to stay hydrated, keep cool, and the one thing about conditions, both teams plays under the same.
32 degrees. Argos haven't had that kind of weather throughout training camp. Mike Riley trying to get something going, and he'll take a shot. Kenny Stafford wide open. Bumped out of bounds at the end of the play by Brandon Underwood. There's a start for the Eskimos.
Well, maybe this will kickstart the offense. Nice short corner throw from Mike Riley. He's got his own defense. He's got Stafford on the short corner. Now, the zone is Brandon Underwood over the top, in the deep outside third, and Jefferson in the flat, covering that zone. Little hole in between the two of them. Stafford finds it.
4 catches, 65 yards, and a touchdown for Stafford on the day. To the Argo 49-yard line after that 26-yard hookup. Riley under pressure, delivers low, incomplete, and a flag down at the end of the play. It's a holding call against the Eskimos. That offensive line's been under siege most of the afternoon.
You know, the other thing that maybe we're not giving enough credit to the Argo
Edmonton,
defense. I
number
mean,
60, 10-yard penalty, remains first down.
Justin Sorensen, the center, called this time.
Casey Crehan has done a nice job of getting a real young group. I mean, you look at their back end, you've got a couple of guys in their second year, but 3 rookies in the back end. Then you've got 2 linebackers in just year 2. Beside Brandon Isaac, he's the only veteran, and up front, Tristan Acapulco is the only guy in his second year, Ricky Foley, the veteran. So he's got a ton of young guys up there. He's coached them up nicely. Mike Riley's looked, and this offense has not looked good today.
It's the highest penalty game of the first 3. Argos decline the penalty. The Argos look like they're offside here. Riley hit as he throws. That's a duck that is knocked down. Should have been intercepted, but probably for not. Looked like Toronto jumped the gun prior to the snap.
Riley got hit as he threw. That good that it doesn't look like he is hurt at all.
Toronto, number 91. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Opala Ugo was offside, and Akwasi Owusu-Ansah is ramping up and getting attention.
Well, let me ask you, Opala Ugo here on this hit on Mike Riley. What does that hit remind you of from last year? Different teams, but
yes,
very similar to
Banjo Bowl, Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Saskatchewan Rough Rider quarterback.
When you're torquing that arm and shoulder like that, and someone stops the momentum dead there. Good news that he looks okay.
Continue to work on Ansah on the sideline, so we'll step out with just under 10 minutes. Team looking at 2nd and 5 from the Argo 44-yard line.
Vincent Agnew in the game.
And the injured Ansah in the corner, another flag, and there have been a punch as that pass goes through the hands of Darius Bowman. And the Eskimos were offside that time. That'll be declined, and Chris Jones has a decision to make. 3rd and 5 in Toronto territory.
A lot of time. I think he get the field position here.
Edmonton, number 7.
Punt team
penalty
back on.
Declined. 3rd down.
I'm surprised that offensively they didn't put a Darius Bowman out there on Vincent Agnew. Cold, well, not cold, but had not played coming off the bench. You can't be cold in this weather.
No.
It is very hot.
I know you're thinking about something cold. Well, they stay in, though, and it's Jordan Lynch with it. And a little gamble is going to be short, or is it? They had to get inside the 40. Looks like he's dropped at the 40.
Chris Van Zyle's come right out on the field with the offense. Right in front of their bench. I think he's short. It's right on the 40-yard line.
Going to be a measurement, but the Eskimo defense even running out onto the field. Well, you're right. There was a lot of time, but
I still kick it. I mean,
we're not ever surprised when Chris Jones gambles a bit. And maybe in this point, he just thought they needed something to ignite them. But
again, this is what if you're going to go for it there, why won't you leave your offense and Mike Riley on the field and just run an offensive play? You're not going to fool the return team for the Argos. They're going to be in what's called punt safe. They're looking for any gadgets and looking for any fakes in this situation. So in that scenario, it's easy when it didn't work, but I'd be saying the same thing if they did get the first down.
Especially when the punter's not back there, you've basically declared that.
Run an offensive play with your starting quarterback.
Well, it's been a day here in Fort McMurray with nothing has gone right for the green and gold. And Trevor Harris trying to take some time off the clock and maybe put this game away. Into the hands of Whitaker. Good hits to the 45.
By the way, what a great pickup, Brandon Whitaker, to go in and know Scott Milanovich's offense. Got a lot of football left in him, clearly. He's looked very good this afternoon. I haven't seen him miss a block, and he's done a nice job running the football.
They do have Chad Cackert on the practice roster, and he may be available. Curtis Steele, who was expected to be the incumbent, is on the 6th game. But those pretty good numbers for a guy who's been in camp for a week and didn't make the Montreal Alouettes starting roster. And that pass over the middle to the fullback, Alex Dupuis. Played for Danny Machocha at the University of Montreal, and there's a first down to keep the Argos offense on the field.
Take a look at Trevor Harris. Well, they're going to try and use up the clock here in this 4th quarter with the lead, but Trevor Harris again with the great mechanics to go down his progressions and drop that off to his fullback.
Scott Milanovich told his quarterback, good enough won't be good enough. So he has been more than good enough here today.
Message received.
Here comes pressure, though, and they do get it off. And Andre Dury will get tripped up as G.C. Sharon closed quickly, but somehow Trevor Harris got that away. And
I'll tell you how. This is how. Trevor Harris has got to be in his playbook to a point where he understands the offense, knows where everyone is. So when it breaks down and he's got pressure in his face, he knows where his check down guy is automatically without having to look and find him.
I think he expected more of that today than we've seen. One instead of taking a sack at 2nd and 9. More heat, and this time they do get to him. As Trevor Harris is tossed down. Tackle on the play from the newcomer Keith Reynolds.
That stack formation, they make it confusing for the offensive line, left guard, left tackle, as to exactly who they're going to pick up, because on the snap of the ball, one's gone inside. They ran a stunt and got Eddie Steele out and around. Trevor Harris just ate that one.
So Stalley into punt as they let the clock roll. Under 6.5 to go. But still time for the Eskimos. And the time count violation will move it back.
Time count violation, Toronto. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Scott Milanovich trying to get the attention of the long snapper, Jake Reinhardt. And he delivers a perfect snap back to Stalla. Decent move that Sky Dawson can't find it. Lost it in the sun and now drops it. And that ball loose, and I think the Argos got it. He was fighting that football and never really recovered. And didn't recover. Argos come up with the ball, and it really is going from bad to worse for Edmonton.
This end of the field, Chad Owens, when it was the 3rd quarter, was having the same types of issues, just kind of trying to block the sun initially, and he was fighting this the whole way, couldn't find it, bounce off his face mask, kicks it around a little bit, and the Argos come up with it. Didn't see the number who finally recovered that.
So the 4th turnover by the Eskimos on the day. Argos 7 points off the turnover so far. Trying to add to it here. And a quick hitter to Owens. And he's spun down by Aaron Grimes. Just inside the 15-yard line.
Here's a question for you, Coach Cuthbert. Trevor Harris scores in this next play or two. Do you take him out right then?
Just depends how much time he takes off the clock. Probably you'll see Mitch Gale.
Well, Ray's out for 6 weeks on the 6-game injured.
He has taken hits.
He's taken a couple of hits. He had that calf that was cramping up on him a little bit. Looked excellent. Puts this nail in the coffin. Might get him out.
Fake to Whitaker. Dury brings that in and gets bumped out.
Pass complete to number 32.
Now the flag on the far side of the field.
The other argument is that he's so young, every rep matters. But he is
I just know what a team can do with
There's no
3 or 4
infraction
minutes.
on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Flag is picked up. And it will be 2nd down after the pickup by Dury of 5.
Scott Milanovich's got to be real pumped up about a couple of things. His young defense played very well against Mike Riley all game long. He's got some young receivers that have all made plays.
Chad Owens, by the way, 7 catches, 100 yards. He had 5 100-yard games last year. Here's Harris going through his reads. And now has to take off and look at the close from Marcus Howard.
Yeah, he went through his progressions, and play side, he had all his receivers. Now he's limping again.
He is.
I might be getting him out, but take a look at when this breaks down. As he rolls this way, he's going to run out of receivers. He's got Hazelton on that crossing route. Now he comes out. The only possible target is Whitaker. And Whitaker's looking to try and block for him. He does not have a receiver on that side of the play.
So here comes Dave Stalla to attempt an 18-yard field goal. First time he's ever attempted a field goal. It can be dangerous. A low trajectory block might be a problem. From 18 yards out, number 88 puts it up and through, but I think it's going to be a time count violation. Looked like he's been doing that for a while, didn't he? But he's going to have to do it
time
for
count
5 yards
violation.
back.
Toronto, 88, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
If he does the exact same thing, that was flush. It was. Trevor Harris will hold for him.
So from 23 yards out, see if he can duplicate that last kick. Lots of height, but he misses. And it's 26-11, so Stalla would have made the first one had it not been for the time count. Settles for a single, and now it's a 15-point Toronto lead. Animals once ruled the earth. What if they decided they wanted it back? Sue, the new series, Tuesday at 9, 8 Central on CTV. Some of the guys have an 8 o'clock tea time, and here in Fort McMurray, you might get 18 in.
Tell me we've picked a putt that goes in.
I think you're supposed to whisper now.
Oh, right. For the championship, the birdie putt is,
wow,
it's in the hole.
Mike Riley takes off, and he'll crash down around the 49-yard line. A first down run for Mike Riley, trying to engineer a last-ditch comeback.
Well, and there's time to do it.
First down, Edmonton will be first.
Dominant team, fourth quarter a year ago.
There's time to do it.
And again, playing against an inexperienced team, although they haven't shown much of that inexperience so far in this season opener. Riley to throw, and it gets through to Bowman. There is a flag. And is that Mike Riley down and hurt?
Yes, he is.
It is. And immediately
Tackle by number 53, Greg Jones.
out comes attention
Major
from
foul.
Mike Riley.
Roughing the passer. Toronto number 90. Low hit. 15 yards, automatic first down.
A low hit from Cleon Lang, who had been on the limp himself. Looked like Lang was cramping up. He unloads on Riley. And Matt Nichols is going to have to come into the game.
Yeah, this happens, and that he's getting blocked going down, and you still can't hit the quarterback low. You've got to have enough body control to get out of that path, even if you're being pushed or blocked. Cleon Lang is getting pushed down.
And you just hope it's not as bad as it looks. 2 quarterbacks hurt in Montreal in week 1, and now one of the marquee guys in the Canadian Football League getting attention. Already it had attention to the knee earlier in this game. Somehow threaded that through to a Darius Bowman in traffic. But Matt Nichols is going to have to come into the game. Nichols, who finished the Western semi and then played in the Western final as well.
Played the 2 games Labor Day weekend against Calgary in the regular season. Actually threw for over 500 yards in those 2 games and 3 touchdowns and lost both.
Well, looks like Mike was trying to get up. Just hope he's going to be able to put some weight on that leg. And that does not look good. This is about the worst possible sight we could get out of Fort McMurray in week 1.
Now a quarterback for the Edmonton Eskimos, number 16, Matt Nichols.
So Matt Nichols trying to keep it going here on this drive. First throw is in behind Darius Bowman. Looks like tipped at the line of scrimmage. And so we head to the... we know who it's going to be.
I've got a nomination.
Seconded.
Number 1 nomination. Number 7.
Here's Nichols on 2nd and 10. Flag down. Bowman with catch. And he stumbles short of the first down. Had Hervey over to check on his quarterback, his starter. 21st penalty against the Eskimos. 55 in the preseason game here between the Eskimos and Rough Riders.
In the face. Edmonton, number 50. 10-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
So that's Danny Crew, the rookie right guard called. Nichols, Bowman, and he dropped the football. Bowman took a look, had a lane to the end zone, but dropped the ball.
Matt Nichols threads the needle here. He just, there were a lot of blue jerseys around Darius Bowman on this dig route. He's down about 15, 20 yards, and he just kind of curls in. Put it right in his hands out of that break.
Second drop for Bowman on the day, and not a whole lot's gone right.
No. A couple of plays by Kenny Stafford, and Bowman's made a few catches, but wow.
3rd and 20. Throwing for Bowman, and it's intercepted. Brandon Underwood brought it down. And that's the 5th turnover of the game by the Eskimos. .236 to go, and this one is just about confirmed, and we're going to confirm the player of the game.
Yeah, I think we can go there safely. Second start for Trevor Harris in his 4th year with the Argonauts. Ricky Ray out, 6-game injured. Everyone wondering how Trevor Harris would play. Well, you got your answer. Outstanding. Player of the week material.
Hands it off, and not much there.
And perspective. This is maybe, coming into the season, on paper, the best front 4 in Edmonton on defense in the CFL. You look at Odell Willis, Sewell, Eddie Steele, Marcus Howard back in the lineup. A good linebacking core.
They allowed 1 300-yard passing game all of last year. That was 318 against Hamilton. Trevor Harris has come out firing with 347 passing yards. Might not throw again today. Hands it off again. And Whitaker short yardage. Argos will punt the football. Just over 2 minutes to go, but the clock will likely run.
And all the attention in Edmonton over the next couple of weeks is going to be the health of their quarterback and Mike Riley, who right now is getting that ice pack on, and we'll have to do further assessments as I get back to Edmonton. The MRIs and the X-rays and all of those kind of things to see what kind of damage is there. It didn't look good coming off the field.
Congratulations, you are lucky winner.
Stala to punt with the clock running. Looks like he's getting better. Dawson will step out. 38-yard punt by Stala. Not sure if they have a cart for Mike Riley to
get him
into the room or not.
First of all, he's in the heat. Second of all, he almost got yet another hit. He came off the sideline right there.
It's like they're calling for a cart now.
Yeah.
Got to look pretty hard to find a positive here, and the only thing is they've got an experienced backup in number 16. Fuhorn trying to dive for the first down. Just a reminder that immediately following this, we'll head to Mosaic. Old teammates Drew Willie and Darian Durant get set to duel. Bombers, Rough Riders, first of 3 meetings tonight. Rod and Dwayne will have that for you. Second down, Nichols got Bowman, and that ball is deflected and incomplete.
Well, this young secondary, that was A.J. Jefferson cutting under that one over there. There were a couple plays. Kenny Stafford got behind him on a double move, but he's made some plays of his own and hung in there on that corner. And that Scott Mladenovich was real excited about his 2 corners. Kwasi went down due to injury. Agnew's taking the rest of the game, but
3rd and 2. Nichols throws behind the target. And there's a turnover on downs, and that's 6 turnovers for Edmonton on the day.
The other guy he talked to us about, and you mentioned off the top of the show, but I want to mention him again because he's been quietly very effective, showed leadership in the back end. That's Jermaine Gabriel at safety. And Scott Mladenovich saying he was the most underrated player, not just safety, but player in the CFL. Can do it all. Mladenovich is going to pick his captains week to week because they're such a young team right now. Trevor Harris is one, of course, and Jermaine Gabriel is captain on defense. Well, he's played great.
Eskimos had the #1 offense in terms of yards last year. They had been shut down by a young, fired-up Argo defense, and now Toronto will try and run out the clock. They'll be in Saskatchewan next Sunday at Mosaic, and you don't like early buys, but maybe for Edmonton, a buy next week would be a benefit.
Yeah, they'll get a better chance to examine the health of Mike Riley, but also give more reps to Matt Nichols. More time to assess.
That's the headline story of the day.
Yeah.
One of the premier players in the league. And the Eskimos can't afford to lose him, and really the CFL isn't as good if Mike Riley's not healthy. 2nd and 10. Brandon Whitaker again finds some room off the right side. First down, one more. For Brandon Whitaker. 24-yard romp.
You know, the great veteran running backs. You know, he halfway through that run, as he kind of got through the linebacking core, he gets a little contact right about here, and then he just adjusts his face mask. Watch, he comes in, he just fixes up his helmet, get that on right, as he continues to run down the field.
24 on the run, 115 in the game. Chad Owens has a 100-yard receiving game. And Trevor Harris was at 347 passing. Anthony Coombs is in now. He'll bump it outside. Gets the edge. And Coombs is down to the 10-yard line. Second-year man, a guy the Argos are really excited about his potential. Cut short last year by an injury, the number 3 pick in 2014. And the cart taking Mike Riley off. For further evaluation.
Impossible to disappointment. You can see it in his face, but just
Argos in victory formation, and they'll take the knee. Trevor Harris, what a remarkable performance as the Argos win their home opener
in northern Alberta, but it is what it is, and Trevor Harris is now 2-0 as a starter in the Canadian Football League, and what a performance. I mean, he lit it up. 24 of 27, 347 yards, and 3 touchdowns. As close to a perfect game for a quarterback as you can get.
A year ago, the Argos were routed 45-21 in Winnipeg in the season opener. A much different story to start this game, this season. I think Scott Milanovich's team has made a statement. They're young, a lot of new faces, but as the coach said,